Hey Cancer, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. We're doing I-ching readings over here on YouTube this week, and we're also going to add in some oracle cards too at the end there. But for the overall for the reading, just to give us an idea of where we might be going or what we might be talking about, we have strength. Something that's taking a lot of inner strength, a lot of self-discipline, patience. There's no quit here. We're not quitting. We're not giving in. We're not... well, to give in isn't really an option. So you're going to see something through all the way to the end. All right, what are we talking about? What's requiring your strength or developing your strength? It may not even require strength, or it requires strength. Developing your strength. You may not feel very strong. This card comes in often when we don't feel strong. We feel like giving up. It's a long process. It's a working with yourself though, right? And we got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Quitting is a wonderful, beautiful thing that I fully support because it makes room for things that are better fits for you. But this is not about that. All right, we're going to build this hexagram, this I-ching hexagram from the bottom up. I've got three little coins here. And we're going to pull some heads and tails. So already right off the bat, we've got 3 heads. So that is changing yin. That's yin that's going to change to yang. So 2 tails, yin, unchanging. 2 heads, that's really funny. Yang, unchanging. My pen just flipped over some cards about having a vision and staying focused. 2 tails, yin. 2 tails, yin. And our final line of this hexagram. 2 heads, yang energy. Oh, that's interesting. We've got 2 stacked, almost like double-decker bridges. All right, well, I'm going to go figure out what the hexagram is. All right, Cancer. This reading seems very clear to me as it comes through. So we have our hexagram. So the first hexagram it was stacked, right? So it was mountain over mountain. Lots of mountains. Possibly lots of options, possibly lots of obstacles that you see, hence the strength card. A lot of obstacles out there, just a whole mountain range. We've got mountains on top of mountains out here. So that's where we're beginning. But it's not that bad. It says they create, those 2 trigrams create a hexagram called unsurprisingly mountain. So a mountain to me is defined, very solid, very solid. So the literal translation was watching the foot, no ills, lasting good omen. I recently broke my toe and there's a lot of foot involvement in the break. So anyway, so it kind of cracked me up as your reader. I'm not a Cancer though. Watching the foot, no ills, lasting good omen. So the idea behind this is you're off to a good start. You put your best foot forward, right? And it was very much appreciated. We are off to a good start, a very strong beginning. And then I love the lasting good omen. So, you know, we can have a really good, strong beginning and then life starts and can blow you off course, do some things. But this is saying that strong beginning isn't going away. You have a strong beginning for a reason. You put your best foot forward and it wasn't the best illusion I can do. It was really the best foot and you started something off on a really good foot, really good standing, and it's going to last you through difficulties and delays and all of that. So I really liked seeing that it wasn't just like your best foot forward, whoops, well, and then you slipped and shattered your foot and now it's got to be amputated. That's not what we're talking about. You put your best foot forward and whatever difficulties come, the best foot. And I don't know where that comes from, but it's going to continue looking good. It's not going to lose its shine here. So you started something really well, and it's going to continue to go really well. So it changes. We only have the one changing line, which was line number 1. So that's the line that we're reading from Mountain. We don't read the whole hexagram. We just read that one line. So line 1 was watching the foot, no ills, lasting good omen. And I think that's the really important part, because then the hexagram changes, because we have that dynamic line, to 22, decoration, which I think is really fun too. I mean, this is almost like, okay, you put your best foot forward. Now get some fancy socks and some new shoes, and maybe with a little shiny buckle on top. So sign of the sacrifice, somewhat auspicious to go somewhere. But so this is the whole hexagram, and that's the part we read now is the overall message. It's about a wedding. And the I-ching, and why the I-ching and I took a little break, is the I-ching is very conservative in a lot of ways, and it's not super into contracts. It's not anything where you're signing up to do anything. It's very cautious on that. It doesn't like weddings. Oh my gosh, you think like the bride, the maiden gets married, all of these things over in tarot sound very exciting, but the I-ching, and honestly, the longer I go, the more I agree with the I-ching, does not find contracts and agreements like that very exciting. It finds it limiting and confining, and you want to avoid confining things. So it's a decoration, sign of the sacrifice, somewhat auspicious to go somewhere. So wedding related, it's about a commitment and a contract. But for commitments and contracts, this is the best thing for that. This is the best hexagram there is for that. Most of them are like, what are you doing? Which is basically, I can relate. Like, why would you do that? I don't know why you would do that. So a little vanity and frivolity is allowed in this celebration. That's the overall idea, is that you can decorate that best foot, but overall it's a little bit tepid. So it's okay to be a little bit extra, to add some flair. Now is not a time to be stingy. Now is not a time to tamp things down. You already put your best foot forward. Now add a little bow on the foot or something like that. Like, now is not a time to like, this is my best foot. It's very serviceable. It's like, this is my best foot. And it's got these bells and whistles. All the toes wiggle. None of them are broken. The toenails are all beautiful, and there's polish on all of the toenails. And in fact, on top of all of that, there's a very expensive shoe with a bow on top. So this is like time for a little bit of flair. And one of the reasons we're adding the flair is because it's like a wedding. It's like the I-ching takes weddings extremely seriously and contracts extremely seriously. They're not fun events. They're like, it's not about the friends and family getting together and drinking and listening to music. It's about, there's a freaking contract here. Are you ready to sign this contract? So this is saying, because this is such a serious event, you're going to have to bring your own fun, your own frivolity, because this is a contract. So there's enthusiasm, but it's tempered. Cautious, usually cautious and ambivalent, but this one is the best one. And it is saying, well, I guess if it's a party, you can wear your party hat. If it's a party, I guess you can wear your party shoes. Like, that's a little bit of the tone here. So, but what I was feeling as I got into it, and just looking at some of these lines and the dynamics, so it goes from mountain over mountain to mountain over fire. So something's moving. There's a change in reality. Something that's been stable, static, the same. Like mountain over mountain looks to me like static, the same. Millions and millions of years. These mountains have been in this shape, in this formation. Like, they're here. They're solid. So the change is that something that's been very solid is going to start moving. So the changes in reality, the sort of overall vision in the universe, the overall sort of divine vision, if you want, that's very balanced, very stable. So the only thing that's moving here is the reality is starting to move to, I want to say, match that vision. So the wind's gone out. The phrase I got while I was working on this was, the winds have gone out of the sails, but you're still in the boat. So you're still going somewhere. You may have to start rowing and use your strength to row. So you're still headed somewhere, and your good first impression is going to last. So that's not a problem. You still got, if you had like support, or you're not losing the support. Like if you had parents or a professor or a friend that was very supportive of you, you're not losing any support whatsoever, but there just is like a less enthusiasm than there was before. And I think you're supposed to juice it up a little bit. Like it's a BYO enthusiasm kind of thing. Like, so the lasting good omen, though, you're going to have good luck in this endeavor, or whatever endeavor you started and you were excited and enthused about and really made a great first impression. You started something, and this is saying like you're going to keep going on that. It may get a little serious for a little bit, and there's sort of like maybe some loss of momentum, but you're still going. So the wind's out of your sails, but you're still in the boat. So you may have to, put the motor on. Don't be shy about using your motor. Then you can like create apparent wind and then actually sail a little bit off your motor. and assist yourself that way. So there's stuff you can do. You're not in the doldrums. It's modern days, and you have rows and oars, and you have oars, and you have a motor, and the wind's going to pick up again. So you're out here, and you just have to stick with something. You have to stick with something, even though there's been a loss of enthusiasm. But it's still there's still a commitment. There's still a contract. There's still all of this stuff coming in for you. And it's here. It's just a little less exciting than it was. It's like reading the fine print to the contract and being like, oh, okay, I have to show up every day on time. Oh, right, I guess. And you're just thinking about that. So a little bit of the shines come off of something. We also, while I was working on this stuff, this card flipped out of the deck. Well, I picked up the deck actually to move it, and this card was left behind. So, and this sort of also illustrates, I like that she's on the water, but can you hear me? So communication issues, things maybe not getting to the right places. Maybe, at first everything was very exciting. There was a lot of communication back and forth, but communication may have gotten difficult or even fallen off. You maybe haven't heard back from something, or haven't heard, but you're not supposed to give up. Don't give up, even though it's hard and something's been a little bit exhausting and frustrating. Okay, so we're going to pull some oracle cards and add to this story here. This mountain range that's starting to move. Yeah, I'd really like it if you would pop out and not just turn around. So sticking with something even though it's not as exciting as it was, but understanding that your luck is lasting here. People could be on vacation, out of town. That can always create that. Summertime is always hard on communication. It's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. So I think this also is talking about, so this is your fellow water sign. And again, we're having this water thing here. Right, we have this exhausted mode, and it's remaining positive. So there's maybe a lot of negative thinking, or a lot of pessimism, perhaps. Defensiveness and pessimism, but you don't need it anymore. Any kind of self-protective measures you were doing to protect yourself from disappointment. We're saying that the omen's lasting. It's a good omen, and it's not going away. Even though like the winds went out of your sailboat's still out in the water. You're not suddenly transported into shore, or your sailboat doesn't disappear. There's lasting, this initial wind. Yeah, the day's good for sailing, okay? It's a good day for sailing. You might have a couple doldrums that you hit, a couple little rest breaks in between the gusts, but overall the day is great for sailing. So just because you're in the doldrums, or something dropped off a little bit, or the energy dropped a little bit, don't let that discourage you. That's not a bad sign. That's not a negative sign. It's just the energy dropped a little bit, okay? Not a big deal. That the flow is still there, the movement's still there, the promising of success is still there. All right, confidence is your key to success. I love this. It's time to release negativity, and confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo, and we are in Leo season right now. So yeah, being confident. I love this. You put your best foot forward. Now add a little something to that best foot. Be confident, because I think that's why you're getting this beginning brings a lasting good luck. Like, I think that's why you're getting it, because the slowdown may be messing with your confidence, maybe messing with your optimism, maybe messing with your sense of where this can go. And this is definitely, I feel like this reading is creating a parent wind for you. I feel like this reading is trying to create a parent wind. I just finished with sailing lessons, so I think I think it's giving you the uplift. It may not be, there may be a loss of momentum in your environment, but this is trying to tell you that that's not permanent. It's just a pause in the action. But you began something very well, and that good beginning isn't going away. It's just summertime. People are on vacation or whatever, or whenever this finds you. There's just a drop in momentum. But do not let that mess with your head. That has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with anything you've done or anything like that. Like, and I also like the idea of like confidence is your key to success. Like, shine those shoes, add a bow, like just give yourself a little pop here. I almost see it. I am seeing it visually. Visually, give yourself a little pop, a little something extra. Be confident. Don't be negative. Don't get negative. I mean, this is like strength, right? Staying strong. Take a break. Life's a work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. This is what I'm seeing, is that it's just a break. It's just a break in momentum, right? And again, if I'm going to belabor the sailing point here, when we do get those breaks in the wind, right, everything is happening so fast when we're sailing, especially if we've got a nice windy day. There's a lot to be done, a lot to be managed. But when we get those breaks, we, tidy things up, tuck things away, relax a little bit, just enjoy the day, enjoy being out on the water, enjoy all of that. And so that's what I'm seeing, is that it's a loss of momentum, but it's only a moment of loss of momentum. You're in a moment of momentumlessness. That's all. Just try to enjoy it and take a break. Don't take it too seriously, because you started something really good. It's still going to go forward. It's just, I don't know, just had a little moment here. It's taking a summer vacation. We all have that in our bones from school, that summer vacation. That summer is meant to be a little bit easier, right? A little bit nicer, a little bit easier, not quite so much to do, taking a break from demands. Nope. Okay, we're just gonna take this one. I really like this. Coming after take a break, we got tranquil turtle. Gemini also got a turtle, by the way, so if you have Gemini in your chart, that might help. Endurance. Yes. Oh my God. I like this. Endurance. And the turtle is slow moving. Endurance, commitment, serenity. This is you're in this for the long haul, right? Just like a marriage, just like any kind of contract, you're in it for the long haul. We don't need to spend all our energy in the first 5 minutes. So, spirit of the great mother goddess, strengthen my connection to the earth. And that's just weird to me on this turtle, honestly, like the turtle. But I do like the strengthen, I do like it as a Cancer idea, and I do like the connection to mother. And the turtle came out in Gemini, and I had volunteered years ago for the Save the Sea Turtle Foundation, and it's basically beach patrol. And then when we'd see a big mama turtle come up, we'd grab the little, well, not grab them, but as she's dropping her eggs into her hole, we would collect them and put them in a safe place so that they could be hatched into actual turtles. So, and it was so cool. A friend that I did that with recently contacted me, and we were remembering how the moon was full, and these white little paper moons, I mean, they felt like paper in my hands, were falling out. It was a really beautiful memory of being on the beach at 3 o'clock in the morning. I could not stay awake. But endurance, yeah, endurance, commitment, and serenity. So I like kind of the mother connection here, of course, Cancer and mother connection. And And the moon, yeah. Cancer's ruled by the moon, and that's coming out for me really strongly, this collection. And it was these eggs, and it's just because, like, and then it was really cool when the turtle would go back into the ocean, and its tracks would be these, like, beautiful little arabesques in the sand. It was really cool. But there's something about the moon there, about intuition, about Cancer, about things. Just because the eggs didn't go directly into the sand, it was actually better for the eggs. And so I'm connecting that story into, like, the turtle laying the eggs and the lasting good omen. These eggs, because actually they were removed from the beach and they were removed from predators, including humans and all of that, because they were removed, they were actually removed to a much safer place. So it's not that just because these eggs had an unusual beginning in which they were put into a bucket and transported and then buried into sand that was in a protected, fenced off area. It actually strengthened the beginning. The beginning for these little baby turtles was actually much better and much more promising, given that we were there to help. And we were talking about that. Someone was there to maybe help at the beginning or something like that. So the support at the beginning actually made it stronger, even though, like, to the turtle, if she ever turned around, I mean, she thought she buried the eggs and then she just went around. So, so the turtle may not, I mean, it's just like a different beginning. And they were transported someplace else. So that to me is coming in really strongly with this reading as far as part of it. The beginning looking a little different than expected. But that help is there, right? And that help is actually ensuring a much better beginning than if you didn't have it. Oh, yeah. I cannot believe this, you guys. Protective nest. Look at all these eggs. Speaking of eggs. We have dreams here. We have dreams that are, but we also have something in reality. We have something in reality that is just going to take the time it takes. It is protected, right? I was just talking to you about the protective nest. And that mothering vibe here is too, or that protection, at least, if you can't relate to the mothering as being protective, that you are in a protected space, and this thing that you began is also in a protected space. So you began very good. This is a very good beginning. And maybe, you've had to work on this, you've had to sit on this egg for a really long time, and so it's getting a little exhausting. That's actually, the enthusiasm was tempered a bit. Yes, at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning after a night of collecting eggs on the beach, my enthusiasm was definitely tempered. But this is protected. And I'm so glad this Tranquil Turtle got me talking about, like, eggs and stuff. So yeah, protected nest. You've begun something, you've planted the seed, the egg is here, the egg is growing, but it's just going to take a little bit of time. And then that extra time might, like, have a loss of enthusiasm, right? It's like, just a loss in the energy, the momentum. But it's not lost, it's just decreased for a minute as we're waiting. But it's safe. Your future is very safe here. Something is very much safeguarded, and it's just going to take you, you gotta, oh, yes. Oh my gosh, this reading is so cool. So it's just going to take some patience, right? Strength can be our patience card. Flamingo spirit, embrace the in-between. So you're neither here nor there. You've already started something, but it hasn't come into, like, fruition yet. You haven't accomplished it, you haven't achieved it, but you did start it. And so this is like embracing uncertainty, being comfortable in uncertainty, being comfortable, right? We're of the air and of the water. Being comfortable in both situations, both as the beginner and the achiever, but embracing the in-between, right? We're not there yet, and it's protected. We are not there yet. All right. What other delights do we have here? Show me more. This is okay. Air spirit knowledge, information coming in. This can be communication. This can be being very logical, needing to be logical in a situation. But it can also be air spirit communication. What? I feel like these are like these eggs too. This is a little bit of what they looked like. I mean, obviously just a round circle. They were white, but this could be putting out opportunities, feelers for opportunities. You're going to be successful. I mean, this is just what we've got here. You might get a little bit of cold feet when you sign the contract or something. So, and I want to talk a little bit about cold feet when it comes to weddings and stuff like that. So cold feet is not, if you feel something is very wrong with a contract, do not continue on with it and just call it cold feet. Yeah, we're just going to leave that there. Cold feet would be being a little bit worried or anxious or nervous, but still knowing it's the right decision. So you're going to learn something, you're going to know something, use your mind, be logical about it. Secret spring, success. That's what I'm telling you. And we've got a secret spring, so it's it's going to take a little bit of time to find it. You might stumble across it. You kind of knew at some point that this was going to be coming in like this. Yeah, there's success here. Well, it literally says success. So, and that's what we've got with this declaration. We've got like commitment, contract. There's success here. It just got a little interrupted, like moving those turtle eggs. Just got a little interruption, but there's something about this light here on this boat. It's reminding me a little bit of a hermit, a little bit of not being able to see, and it's secret spring. So I don't want to say it's going to sneak up on you, but I do want to say that you can't see very far in advance. You're not going to get a lot of advance notice here. It's just going to be something maybe you stumble across it, or maybe you were looking for it. Obviously, you're looking for success here. You started something that's good and lasting good omen. I mean, what more do we want? Okay, well, I'm going to bring this over onto Vimeo. So if you want more of the story, we're going to continue on with the strength card as the basis for the reading over there. If not, well, we'll chat later. Ciao.